This is going to be a beginner chair stretch class. Think like chair yoga, seated yoga. All you're going to need for today's class is a chair and comfortable clothing. So a sturdy chair with no arms. Make sure that it doesn't tip when you move side to side on it. And then probably preferable not a carpet flooring like I'm working on. A hardwood flooring would be great. My name is Tara. Thanks so much for clicking the video, and let's stretch. All right, so let's come to the very edge of your chair. So your sit bones, they should be rooted to the chair. If they're not, you can go ahead and pull the flesh off the glute, pull them back, and then sit down on those bones. Feet should be flat. We're gonna do about 45 seconds in each movement or pose or series that I have planned for you today. 20 movements altogether. The first one is our sun salutation. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, release, fold over your legs, slide down your shins, come up halfway, look forward. Exhale to release, reach your right arm up, twist, reach up, look at it. Exhale, switch it, left arm up, twist and look up that left hand. Release, push through both legs, root to rise, come on all the way up. Exhale, release. Let's do it again. Get tall, reach up, fan the arms, and then we fold. Slide down those legs, trace down to the shoes, half a lift, pick up the crown of the head, exhale, release, right arm to the sky, twist and look at it, lower and switch, left arm to the sky, pull your belly button in and release. Push down through both feet, root down, rise up, inhale, and exhale. Okay, our next series is cat-cow. You're gonna place your hands on your thighs, and we're gonna practice that rolling through the pelvis that I talked about with your sit bones. So you're gonna scoop your belly in, round your back, chin to your chest, and then pull your chest forward, look up. Here we go, let's roll. Cat-cow on your own pace. Ideally inhaling into your cow, exhaling into your cat. So this is just spinal flexion and extension from a seated position. Best if you keep your neck in neutral. So not looking side to side, but looking straight ahead. Can you match your breath here with this movement? We're bringing blood flow to the spine. Notice if there's any tight spots, any cranky areas in your back. Important that your feet are flat on the ground here so you have a good base. One more. And release, sit up tall. Our next movement is just side to side stretching. So I'm gonna have you separate your feet a little bit wider so you have a really good base here. Take your right hand to your hip. You're gonna stretch your left arm up. Breathe into the ribs and then slowly release it. Left hand to your hip, right arm up. Here we go. We're just gonna windmill side to side at your own pace. Now this stretch routine is designed for beginners or people who don't prefer to get down to the floor anymore, seniors, or maybe just if you're in an area where you only have a chair, you don't have a mat, and you need some kind of mobility routine, and this would work for you. And we're just stretching sideways with a nice wide base to the feet. See if you can get that arm up a little higher each time you windmill and reach over. See if you can notice if one side is tighter than the other. Lift the chest up. We only have about 5 seconds left in the sequence. I'm gonna go over just a little bit so that I can get even on both sides. And release. Okay, bring those feet back towards the middle. I'm just gonna heel toe. Still sitting on the sit bones, the ischial tuberosities, hands on your thighs. We're gonna move into the neck here. Chin to your chest, and then roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Stretch your left ear up to the sky. And then switch it. Slow, like you're drawing a little semicircle across your collarbones. Left ear to left shoulder, right ear up to the sky. I'm gonna set you free. Go ahead and roll. Whatever pace works for you, okay? Honor your neck. Releasing tension. If you find a side that really it feels like it needs a hold, you can stay, breathe, and hold. Not quite a traditional yoga class because instead of following our breath, although I do want you to incorporate your breath, we're using a timer. Feel free to ignore the timer and work shorter or longer if that's what your body requires today. Like right now, I'm going to do the other side just to get even. So I ignore the timer, back through the middle, lift up the gaze. Nice tall spine. So let's pull the right leg up. You're going to hook the right hamstring, sit up tall, use your core, pick up that knee, and we're going to circle the knee. So here we go. So we're just going to just draw really big circles, opening up the hip here. You're stamping down through your other leg so that you have some support, using your core. And let's go the other direction. Circle that knee opposite. I'm using my hands to kind of help guide it. This is to limber up the hip. Excellent. And then let's hold the middle and circle the ankle. Roll big circles. Biggest ones that you can. And because you're holding that leg up there, is just a dangling ankle. Reverse. Go the other way. Big circles. And notice if there's any spot in that circle that catches. Ankle mobility is one of the things that we can do to help prevent falls. And release. Set that foot down, roll out your shoulders. You can do a little twist side to side if you need to before we switch sides. You're gonna catch the left hamstring. Sit up tall, use your core, pull that leg up. And this is your starting position. You're gonna use your strong biceps to help circle that knee. Here we go, circles. And if you want to, traditional yoga, you would match this with your breath. Maybe one breath cycle for the circle. And let's go the other way, switch directions. Really stamping down into your right foot. Keep a little bit of pressure on that leg, like you're ready to stand up at any moment. Hold, and let's do the ankle next, okay? So you're just dangling that ankle over the floor, big circles. Deep breath in the lungs. And then we'll switch the direction of that circle, go the other way. Noticing if there's any areas feel tight, restricted, like they don't let you circle that direction. Excellent. And release. We're going to take a static hamstring stretch next. So release it on your sit bones and wiggle to the edge of your chair. Kick out your right leg. Your knee is soft. Your toes are to the sky. Place your hands on your left thigh and then lead with your chest as you fold forward over this leg. If it feels possible or available for you to reach your right hand down for your toe, go ahead and do that. Optional, you do not need to get down to the toe today. Wherever you feel like you can comfortably breathe in and breathe out without having to hold the breath or no shaking in the muscles. So let me know in the comments if chair workouts would be beneficial to you guys, if like you want to sprinkle them in with the other standing workouts, or if you're a new subscriber and this is the first one you're seeing, let me know if you'd like to see more. Really try to release the tension from the back of this thigh here. So it's your hamstring. Deep breath. Let it go. As you roll up, come up nice and slow. Place that foot underneath your knee and then get tall once again for side two. Sending the left leg out. Your heel is down, your toe is up. There's a nice gentle bend here. Lift up your heart, hands on the opposite thigh. Start to tip forward. So it's kind of like you're swan diving. And if you want to, you can reach left hand to left shoe or toes. Make sure you keep some support for the spine here, either elbow or hand. Breathe into the back of the leg. See if you notice if you're tensing in your shoulders. Relax that. Okay, so the hamstrings, they tend to get really tight because as you see, when you sit down in a chair, your knee is bent. And that is the shortened version of your hamstring. We do that a lot more than we do the other things, the lengthened versions of our hamstrings. And then our hamstrings just adapt to being shortened. Deep breath here. As you release, we'll come up nice and slow. Push down through the other foot. We'll pull that foot back in and take a little windshield wiper. And we'll switch. So we're going to take our knees, swivel them to the right. Stretch your front leg, the one closest to me, stretch it way back and push down into the ball of your foot. So really your right glute is on the chair and your left glute's off. Reach both arms up. This is crescent lunge. If you feel wobbly, you can hold the back of the chair for support. If you feel strong and you want to test your balance, you can push down into your legs and lift off the chair. This is our crescent lunge. So working through the legs, whether you're seated or standing, you're reaching up the torso, pulling the belly in. Rib cage is hugging together, so no flaring in the ribs. Shoulders down. So I feel this in my hip flexor right here. So notice where you're feeling the stretch. You can always adjust where your foot is to make it more comfortable for you. Deep breath. And then release those hands. We're going to pull the back leg in just a little bit. This time I am going to hold the back of the chair for support. Taking your front hand, left hand, going to reach down, either catch your pant leg, catch your shoe, or if you can find your shoelaces, go ahead and hold here in a quad stretch. So this leg is pretty free off the chair, and I'm sitting on this leg. And because I'm only half on the chair, I do need to use this hand to keep me from falling off. So make sure that you're being safe, that you have a sturdy chair. You're hanging on to it, okay? If you can't quite reach anything back here, you can grab a strap or a towel, hook that foot, and pull it in. Okay, so the movement, I want to bend your knee and stretch your quad. And for those of you who are a little more stable, you are welcome to take a standing quad stretch. Feel free to customize this to make it work for you. This just takes the balance out of it. Lift the heart. Here's the good news. You're done with this one. That's a hard one. Swivel those knees the other way. You can take a little windshield wiper first and then toes the other direction. I'm going to turn my chair angle here. So you're going to stretch your right leg back and push into the ball of your right foot. Left foot's fully planted. Lift up your heart and then maybe just reach one arm or both arms. We're in crescent lunge on the other side. For my experienced yogis, feel free to lift off the chair, pushing into both legs, coming on up, building some strength and stamina. If you're new to this, feel free, maybe just push down and see how close you can get to lifting off. Create tension. Shoulders down out of the ears. Heart lifted, and when you reach your arms up over your head, that is a great functional movement because sometimes we need to get things on the top shelf, right? Sometimes we need to wash our hair. And reaching arms overhead is a human movement we want to hang on to. We want to tell our body, yes, we need this. Practice it and keep it. 2, and release. Beautiful. Okay, slide that foot in. You're going to catch whatever you can catch, okay? Hold the back of the chair for support first. Maybe it's the pant leg. Maybe it's the shoe. Maybe it's a towel or a strap around the shoe, or if you can catch your whole foot, go ahead and pull it in for quad stretch. Lift up the heart. We are on the clock. Just trying to release the front of your thigh. Now remember your option if you want to do this standing. You're welcome. You could use the chair for balance. So the movement is just bending. It's called knee flexion. Bending your knee because that will stretch your quad. It's a lengthened position. Find your breath here. Notice if you're holding your breath, you might be a little too deep into this stretch, so you can back out of it a little bit. If you catch yourself kind of like furrowing your brow or clenching your jaw, you might be a little deeper in the stretch. You can back out of it. Give yourself permission to not be perfect. It's okay, right? Progress, not perfection. And release. Excellent. Okay, come on back to face the front. My favorite, we have a pigeon. Okay, so come on towards the edge of your chair again. Lift up your heart over your hips. Pull the right knee up. Flex and point. Stay flexed and then cross over the other thigh. We're in pigeon. Here we go. So opening up that knee. This might be a lot. Stay here if it is. It's a lot for me. If you have the ability to fold a little bit, this is your invitation to hinge. But I'm going to honor my body and stay up a little bit because it's tight. So who says you can't do yoga in a hotel room, right? Even if you don't want to get on the nasty carpet and you don't have your mat, if you have a chair, you can do yoga, okay? Stretching out your body. Hopefully this will leave you feeling a little better. Kind of just sit with it, hang in there. A few more breaths. And release. Come on out of that pigeon pose. Release the knee. You can do a couple kicks and set it back down. Side 2. Correct the posture. Hug the left knee in. Point flex, point flex. Stay flexed. And we cross. And we're in pigeon. Let's hold. So trying to work towards that figure 4 stretch. Planting the right foot down. Letting the left knee open. This is a lot. This is plenty. Stay. For those of you who are a little more bendy, you can fold. Hinging towards me. Like you want to bring the heart down to the shin is kind of like the intention, right? So it's not up here in your upper back. For me, sitting up tall is plenty of stretch for my outer hip. We're getting some good flute tunes here. This is Epidemic Sound, by the way. No, they're not sponsoring. This is just where I have a subscription to get copyright-free music that I can use in videos. Deep breath, almost there. And release. Uncross it. Separate your feet so that you have a really good balance and traction on the floor. We're going to open the arms out to the sides, rotating the thumbs to the back of the room as far back as they'll go. And then we're rotating them down to the floor. Ready? And begin. At your own pace with your best posture, okay? So I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera here. rotating the fingers down and rotating them back. And notice what that does with your spine. Notice the effect in the shoulder, the neck. So it's called the shoulder girdle. There's a lot going on there. You've got your clavicle, your scapula are involved. And of course the shoulder bone, so the humerus head, is rolling in its socket there. Tell me in the comments if you feel better after you did this workout, after you did this class. Leave a little namaste or something in those comments. Breathe into those shoulders and out. Release. Go ahead and shake them out. Roll out the shoulders. We are still working on the upper body. You're going to come into cactus arms. Elbows back. Tall spine. We're going to cross the right elbow over the left. And let's start with just giving yourself a hug. So this is eagle arms. Option to stay right here. So hugging. Or if you would like, you can one bind. So pushing forearm to forearm. Or two binds, fingertips to palm. If there's any biting, pinching, or if this compromises your posture, come back out. Find the version of the pose that works for you. Stretching through the upper back, the backs of the shoulders. And if you have really open shoulders, you can experiment with gently tugging those elbows down or gently reaching your fingers up. Deep breath. Feels good. And release. Open back up into cactus. Oh, beautiful. Release. Shake them out. And then we'll switch. So side two, eagle arms. Come back to cactus. Relax your neck. And then we'll switch so the left arm crosses over the right. Go ahead and settle into your first version of eagle. And this is with the other arm on top. Make sure we get both sides. And then if it feels okay, you can squeeze forearm to forearm. Or you can wrap fingertip to palm. How's your posture? Check in that you didn't compromise. If you did, you can back out a little bit. Should be feeling some stretch back here. So think like posterior deltoid, maybe even into your rhomboids. So like right between your shoulder blades. Nice job. This is just like my gentle reintroduction back into exercise after being sick. Thank you guys for joining me. And release. Open back up. Give them a shake. Okay, I'm sorry I'm not done with your arms yet. Go ahead and roll out your wrists a little bit. We're going to head into open cow face. So you take the right arm up. Palm faces back. Give yourself a pat on the back. And then you can stay here and just give it a little push. And we're in. Right now we're in. Or you can give it a little pull up over the head, creating like a square above your head. If you'd like to try Gomukhana, turn your left thumb down. And try to walk your fingers towards one another. So you have one arm in internal rotation and one in external rotation. You can use your shirt for leverage. You could grab a strap and dangle it over your back and see if you can catch it with that left hand. Check that your head isn't falling forward like this. So try to push your head back. And if that means you need to come out of the pose a little bit, you are welcome to. Opening through the shoulder. You're almost there. A few more breaths. And release. Go ahead and circle the shoulders both directions. What we do on one side, we got to do it on the other. Take that left palm, faces up, and pat on the back. Job well done. Push your head into that arm, and then we start adding a little leverage wherever you feel like you can add that leverage. Some of you may be ready to turn your right thumb down and wiggle your fingers towards one another behind your back. Notice which side's harder for you. A lot of times, the dominant arm is the tighter one because it has a little more muscle mass. So there's a little bit less space to move unless you've been stretching it. You've been practicing lots of mobility with that arm, then sometimes we can balance that back out. I definitely find that is the case for me. I'm right-handed, and it is tougher when my right hand is internally rotated. This one, I'm close. I almost got it. That's the back scratch test right there. And release. Oh, breathe. Roll those shoulders. Walk your feet to knee. We are going to take the best pose ever, child's pose. You're going to place your ribs on your thighs. Start to slide forward. Let your head dangle down. Release into this stretch here. This is for your lower back. So your fingers are reaching for your toes or your shoes. And And then you just let your head dangle, stretch the low back. And turn to the side here, but you should be looking down. And if it feels okay, nod your head yes, slowly. And then slowly shake your head no. Excellent. And if you feel stable, you could even reach your hands up to your lower back. And with your knuckles, just give a little massage. Just like that first finger knuckle up and down the spine. Not pushing too hard, just a gentle manual release of those muscles. Slide your hands back down to your shoes and push down through your legs. Roll it up slow like a rag doll. Head up last. Stack the vertebra one on top of the other. Now, a traditional yoga class, we would end with a shavasana, but this was not a traditional chair yoga. Please let me know in the comments if you would like to see some like that. Take a big breath in, palms match the top, hands to your heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you feel better. I know I do. Namaste.